Have a good day. In this video, you will learn those different equations that are transformable to quadratic equations. Now, we will learn how to solve quadratic equations that are not written in standard form. Let's have the first example. So we're going to simplify the equation and then we're going to determine its roots. So our first example given is that we have here x, quantity x minus 5 is equal to 36. So all you have to do here is to apply the distributive property, wherein we have to multiply the term x on each term inside the quantity or inside the parentheses. So, x times x, and then that is equal to x squared. Then x times negative 5 is equal to negative 5x. Then copy 36. Then afterwards, we're going to write this equation into its standard form. So we're going to move positive 36 to the other side of our equation. So from positive, this will now become negative 36. So that's why we have here x squared minus 5x minus 36 is equal to 0, the standard form of our quadratic equation. Okay? Now, we're going to determine its roots. Okay? So we have to solve the given quadratic equation by factoring. So whenever we have here our trinomial, where our a is equal to 1, we're going to write those factors of 36 for our last term that having a sum of negative 5. Okay, so ulitin ko po, we're going to identify or list all the factors of negative 36 with a sum of negative 5. Okay, so here are the list of factors of negative 36, and as you can see on the next part or sa lower part po are the sum of each factors of negative 36. And from the list, as you can see, we can identify that positive 4 and negative 9 are the factors of negative 36 having a sum of negative 5. So to supply or to complete the factors of our given quadratic equation, we're going to write positive 4 and negative 9. So this will be the factors of our quadratic equation. Then, afterwards, we're going to apply here the zero product property. And when we apply, we just simply equate these two factors by 0. So the first factor is x plus 4 is equal to 0. And the second one is x minus 9 is equal to 0. And then, we're going to solve for the value of x or for the roots. So we have to move positive 4 to the other side of our equation. So you have here our x sub 1 equal to negative 4. And for the values or the second value of x or our x sub 2, we're going to move negative 9 to the other side of our equation. And then, so our x sub 2 is now equal to positive 9. So this is the roots of our given equation that we transform to its quadratic equation or to its standard form. Next example, we have here the quantity of x plus 5 squared plus the quantity of x minus 2 squared equal to 37. So if you have here this kind of given expression, so the first thing that you need to do is you have to expand your square of binomial. So that x plus 5 squared means we have to multiply x plus 5 to itself twice. Okay, so applying here the FOIL method, so whenever we expand x plus 5 squared, that is now equal to x squared plus 10x plus 25. Okay, and then the other binomial you have here, you copy here plus, and then x minus 2 squared, whenever we apply here or whenever we expand the square of binomial by applying here this FOIL method, we can come up here as our answer. That is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 37. Okay? Then afterwards, we're going to combine like terms. So the first term that we can identify that are like terms or similars are x squared and x squared. So when we combine these two terms, that is equal to 2x squared. Then another like term we can have here, positive 10x and negative 4x. So whenever we combine positive 10x and negative 4x, we're going to have here our answer, which is equal to positive 6x. Then the last one po, we can have here, or we can combine positive 25 and positive 4. So whenever we combine these two constant terms, we have here our answer equal to positive 29. And then copy the last on the right side of our equation equal to 37. Afterwards, we're going to write the given equation to its standard form. So we're going to move positive 37 to the other side of our equation. So from positive 37, this will now become negative 37. And then we will combine positive 25 and 37 or negative 37. So whenever we combine, we have here our answer equal to negative 8. So the standard form of the given quadratic equation now is 2x squared plus 6x minus 8 is equal to 0. Then, we're going to identify its root. Again, we have to first apply the division property of equality for us to reduce the value of our a be equal to 1. Okay, so that's why we're going to divide each term by 2. So 2x squared divides 2, 6x or positive 6x divides 2, the negative 8 divides 2, and then 0 divides 2. So whenever we apply here the division property of equality, we will come up with our answer equal to x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Then afterwards, we can now factor our quadratic equation. So to factor it out, again, our first term is x. And for the second term of the factors or of the two binomials, we're going to list all factors of negative 4 having a sum which is equal to positive 3. So here are the list of factors of negative 4, and we have to add each factors, and we're going to identify which of these factors has a sum of positive 3. So as you can see, from the list of factors of negative 4, we have here negative 1 and positive 4 has a sum of positive 3. So we're going to write here negative 1 and positive 4 as the second term of the two factors that we have here. Next, we're going to apply here the zero product property. So we have to equate both factors to 0. So x minus 1 is equal to 0 and x plus 4 equal to 0. Then we're going to solve for us to determine the roots of our given quadratic equation. We have here x minus 1 is equal to 0, so we have to move negative 1 to the other side of our equation. So from negative, this will now become positive. So that's why our x sub 1 is equal to positive 1. Then for the second factor, and for us to determine the second root of our given quadratic equation, we have to move positive 4 to the other side of our equation. Then from positive 4, this will now become negative. So that's why our x sub 2 is equal to negative 4. Okay? So I hope that you learn how to solve our quadratic equations that are not written to its standard form. Then we're going to apply the different methods, or it's up to you what method you want to apply whenever you are to determine its roots. Okay? Next, let's have the third example. We're going to transform the following equations to quadratic equation. So for this third example, we're going to use here quadratic formula to solve for the roots. Okay? So we first identify, or we have to solve this given equation to quadratic equation. So the same thing, we have to apply here the distributive property. Since we have here our given x quantity, or multiplied by x minus 9, is equal to negative 15. So we're going to multiply x to each term inside the quantity, which are x and negative 9. So x times x will give us x squared. Then x times negative 9 is equal to negative 9x. And then copy here, equal to negative 15. So we have to write our equation to its standard form. So we have to move negative 15 to the other side of our equation. So from negative, this will now become positive 15. So this will be the standard form of our given quadratic equation. Okay? Now, from the quadratic equation that we write into its standard form, which is x squared minus 9x plus 15 is equal to 0, we're going to solve for its root. So just like what I've said before, we have to use quadratic formula here whenever we solve this kind of equation. Okay, so since hindi naman po natin ma-apply dito si factoring po. Since we cannot have here factors of positive 15 having a sum of negative 9. So that's why we're going to use quadratic formula. So in quadratic formula, our given po was already written to its standard form. So we are to proceed on the next step, wherein we have to identify the values of a, b, and c. So the value of a here is positive 1. The value of b is negative 9, and the value of c is positive 15. Then afterwards, we're going to use our quadratic formula, which is x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So from this quadratic formula, papalitan natin itong mga letters na ito ng mga value na nakuha natin from this step number 2. So we have now here negative times the value of b here is negative 9. That's why you got here negative 9. Plus minus the square root of your b is equal to negative 9. That's why you have your negative 9 squared. Minus 4 times the value of a here is positive 1. Times the value of c here is positive 15. Divided by 2 times the value of a here again is equal to 1. Then afterwards, we're going to simplify po. Okay, each part of our quadratic formula. So that's why this is now become 9 plus minus the square root of 81 minus 60 divided by 2 all over 2. Bakit po naging ganyan? Negative times negative 9. That's why we have here positive 9. You copy here plus minus. Then the square root of negative 9 squared means you have to multiply negative 9 to itself twice. That's why we have here positive 81. Then negative 4 times 1, we got here negative 4 times 15. That's why we have here negative 60 divided by 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Then afterwards, we're going to simplify this expression inside the radical sign. So 81 minus 60 is equal to 21. So since 21 is not a perfect square number, so we can finalize our answer as x is equal to 9 plus minus the square root of 21 all over 2 or divided by 2. So these are the roots of our quadratic equations that we transform or that we write into its standard form, and then we find for its root. So that's all on this video. I hope that you learn how to solve quadratic equations that are not written into its standard form. So thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Goodbye!